some might be welcomed and some may not be. I borrowed this truck from Kengar Ford here in West Valley, Utah. This truck is available for sale. Be sure to reach out to Ken. Let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys can see options and features on this build. At the very top is the description. So this is the 179-inch wheelbase, so it's going to be the 60-inch cab to axle. Antimatter blue is the color. Short listing of the standard equipment. So 40-gallon fuel tank does come standard on this truck. And then down below you guys see all the options. So the power stroke is $10,495. It does have the max traction tires for $215. 430 gives this truck max tow for $395, and it gives it the limited slip rear, platform running boards, and engine block heater, skid plates, power sliding rear glass is $405, spare tire and wheel $350, high capacity trailer for $580. This one does have the wheel well liners out front, dual fuel tanks, dual alternators, Payload Plus package upgrade number 1 for $1155. Base price comes in at $72,040. Destination is $1995 with a total price of $89,665. Most of the changes are in the interior, so we'll go over that in a second. But for the exterior, not much has really changed on this truck. One thing I like about the Lariat trim is you do get LED headlights standard. Fog lights come part of this truck as well. So you're gonna have the best lighting in a cabin chassis pickup truck that you can possibly have. Now, they did redesign this truck for 2023, so we should see some changes probably next year. Now, because this does have that wide front track, that's why you have these larger fender flares here. You have that wide front axle too. It does have a liner, as you guys saw, which was an option. And then here are the tires. These are the Continental Conti HDR 5s, 3-peak. And here is the capacity, 3,970 pounds at 110 PSI cold. Or if you run it out back at dual, it's going to be 3,750 pounds at 110 PSI cold. G-rated tires. And then 225/70, 19.5 is what you're gonna get for that tire size. That's the only one they really give you on these trucks too. I would like to see something offered a little different for people who aren't really using this for commercial use. You have these aluminum wheels as well. 10 lug. And then here's a nice side view of the truck here. You see those fixed running boards? Painted door handles. They give you a black mirror cap, painted, and then here's some of the trimming too on the side. Smart key system on the front doors only. And it's been a while since I've seen the shorter cab to axle. It looks like a small truck to me for some reason. For your DEF tank, and then here's where you're gonna fill back for both of your diesel tanks. Now, because this has the payload upgrade, they do upgrade these leafs and that rear axle, and then I'll show you guys the numbers on the door, so that's gonna have a different rating for all that as well. You don't have an option to upgrade that inner wheel to a aluminum. And these are going to be incandescent bulbs in here. For 2025, however, that power sliding glass is now an option that used to be standard for Lariat trim. Not sure why they did that, however. There aren't any powertrain changes for 2025. So this is the optional Power Stroke diesel. You have the 7.3 gas engine, which comes standard, but this engine is going to have 330 horsepower, which comes on around 2200 RPMs, and 950 pound-feet of torque, which comes on around 1800. They do have the highest torque, but I think that the Ram trucks might have more horsepower compared to this in the cabin chassis segment. 10-speed transmission behind it, known as a 10R140. Hopefully in the future I'll have a chance to compare this with the new Ram Cummins, because now it has a power line and it has glow plugs like this engine does too, but it still has that inline 6 configuration. I still think that Ford might have the best option in this segment. I like the idea of them having the 430, although Ram might have that 342, so that should help with RPMs, especially if you plan on doing long haul towing. As far as the interior goes, this is where the biggest changes happened. Some for the good, some for the worse. Starting off with the seats. So you guys saw probably on the window sticker, this truck had what was called Active X. So this is what they pretty much dubbed vegan leather, right? So it's not the real leather that you saw for the previous model year trucks. Now, here's the good thing about this. This does seem more durable. When I went from truck to truck and touched the seats, sat in the seats, these are a little bit more firm, which means I think that this might have a better lifespan, especially for a truck like this. So hopefully in time, we'll have to see how these hold up over the course of the years, you know, especially for those guys who drive 100,000 miles in 1 year. I think I did a video on a used one earlier this year or end of last year, and the seats definitely had some cracking, so maybe not having real leather or not having like the leather they were using might not be a bad thing. When those planes fly over, my mind goes blank for some reason. 10-way seat. Also, they still give you the tilt headrest even without that ultimate package for these cabin chassis trucks. But you see right there, no more power steering column. And that was just nice to have with the seat memories, but most people probably are not even changing this because it's typically a one-person driving truck. You still have the power pedals down below. B&O sound system. Let's go and check out the passenger side. 8-way seat. They still provide the grab handle. 12 volt and 120 volt power plugs. They did restyle this button for the storage here. And glove box. Now what is this? So this just shows the incomplete vehicle manual. I don't think I've ever seen this before. At least not inside the trucks, but maybe if I have a chance, maybe I'll have to do a separate video on all this, see if there's anything interesting in here that might stick out. On the side here, there is some storage. You guys see those cup holders, as well as this slides for slightly bigger cups. Center armrest, wrapped in that leatherette. A little bit of chrome around those cup holders. These seats are pretty soft, so even with the ActiveX, they're not firmer seats, but just the material seems to be a little bit more, I guess, firmer. Out back, they still provide that 60/40 bench. Seat back pockets, air vents, USBs, 120 volt power plug. They took away the 12 volt power plug back here. Sorry for that glare there. A little bit of storage below the seat. Let's go ahead and hop back over to the driver's seat. Here are the buttons on the steering wheel. Start over here first. I do like the trip information here that they give you. Say you have a trip 1, trip 2. Also fuel economy readout. And they do give you the dual fuel tanks. This truck only has 3.3 miles. That's like the first time I've seen one of these trucks with so little miles on them. Normally they have 30 plus miles on them when they get to the dealership here. And then they normally do a PDI. So general measurements, you have all these temperatures. Ford's done a great job with this, including your diesel measurements for turbo boost, engine braking, exhaust filter. DEF level, auxiliary gauges, and I would like to see an option maybe in the future for them to give you heads-up display. That would be nice for a truck like this. Now for your off-road pages, they do show you the elevation that you're at too with the compass. Off-road status is right here, so for pitch and roll. And then it shows you the truck with the angles there. You do have a backup camera that's available. It's just not hooked up yet because you don't have a bed on the truck. Down below here, if you go to features, you have a spot here for your trailering. So you can add multiple trailers. Pretty easy to hook up. One last thing too, if you don't want the trailer sway control on, you can turn that off. Now one thing I'll tell you is, some people don't know this, rear trailer sway control uses the brakes to try to adjust trailer sway. So if you ever notice on the back wheels, there'll be a lot of brake pad dust on there, and it's because of that. So if you want that disabled, you can. If you go over to settings, you can add your phones, adjust the sound. You have your connectivity for Wi-Fi. You do full screen navigation like this. Down below you have dual climate control, heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. Was there a heated steering wheel last year? This is new, I think. That's pretty cool. I don't think you could get a heated steering wheel last year. I'll have to look back through my videos, but I think that was not available. Wireless charger, 2 USBs. This cover is slightly different. And if you want a lock box in here, that is available. This does come out. You have 2 USBs in there. On the roof, you do have auxiliary switches, up to 6, place for your sunshades, LED lights, vanity with lighting on both sides. Let's go ahead and check out the numbers on the door. Front gross axle weight rating is going to be 6,000 pounds. The rear is 14,706 pounds. You guys see those wheels, 19.5 by 6 wide. And this truck does have a 19.5 GVWR. Axle codes of 4L, which is a 430 with a limited slip diff. One thing to note, I don't know if this was available last year because I didn't see a lot of these 60-inch cab axles, but I know in the 84-inch cab axles they only had a 19.5 GVWR, but it looks like they have a 19.550 GVWR for this year, so maybe someone can chime in. I don't remember seeing that last year, so that could be something new for this truck. And it just does the same axle ratings on the truck too as well. But hope you guys like the video. I think that this is a really nice spec. I know some people will disagree with me. Like, this is a good hotshot truck because I feel as though if I were to do like luxury car deliveries, things like that, I would like a nice truck like this because it just looks better. And hey, most people pay more for stuff like that too. So yeah, you might get a little bit less for the economy, but it won't be much different with that 430. I think it's like 100 to 150 RPM difference between a 430 and a 410, so it's not a big change. And that 10-speed is doing most of the work for you anyways. But be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Make sure your notifications are on. See you guys soon.